Hello, property nomads. Hope you're doing well. Guess what? We have more council madness to go through. We've got a council in London that are looking to triple the cost of parking permits. Does make you wonder how anything actually ever gets done in London. And then second article that will look at how much UK councils have raked in on emission zone fines and ultra low emission zones. So yeah, fun and games to go through. But first of all, share this article, first article, which is looking at Haringey Council. So congratulations if you live in the Haringey Council area, because what they've decided to do is to triple parking permit costs for people. Which is, of course, is not a good thing. Now, I appreciate if you get the gist of this channel, it's always fighting against the mainstream media as such, or most cases, just me going off on a rant, and it seems to appeal to quite a few people who do not like the injustice of things. I think that's quite a British thing anyway, is to not like the injustice of things. But let's look at Haringey Council. If you're not aware of where Haringey is, North London is how I'd loosely describe it. So at the moment, if you live there, residents can pay daily for visitors' parking permits, which apparently costs £5. But under the suggested changes that have been proposed, this fee could rapidly increase to possibly £17 a day. Now, according to council documents, they state, and I quote, "Circumstantial evidence suggests daily visitor permits are open to being used for purposes other than intended," end quote. Well, in all fairness, I don't think it matters what council you live in. If you do have permit parking, get my words out again. If you have that in place, then yeah, as always, things are open to abuse. Now, how much abuse they're open to, I don't know, but you know, every now and then, if someone offered you a cheap parking permit or something like that, you'd probably take it. I would imagine so, because at the end of the day, who doesn't like to save a bit of cash? And if they're there, they're there. That's my philosophy. Anyway, they're looking to propose the discontinuation of daily visitor permits for residents, but they can look to retain apparently hourly visitor permits instead. So not good. Residents have come out and said, well, you know, this is a bit daft, because if we've got people that want to or need to come into work on our home for whatever reason, they're now going to be charged per hour. So that means that the cost of that job goes up. Well, then they might not want to do it if they've got to pay for parking. And you get in these sorts of circles. But the thing that makes me laugh, and I've not seen this document, but I'll take the word for it. This is what one person said, a quote: "I actually don't own a car, but my partner and I are renovating a house, and this is going to end up costing many hundreds of pounds more if this comes in to have contractors come." It's quoted in the council's documentation as incremental. I don't think you can argue that a 164% increase is incremental, end quote. That to me sums it all up on this. It is absolutely ludicrous that a council can look at something and go, yeah, okay, we're going to make these changes, or we're looking to make these changes, and then describe a 164% increase as being incremental. Absolute codswallop. Some of these people, some of the amount of proverbial that comes out of their mouths is nothing short of mental, to be honest. I'm trying to keep it, of course, YouTube friendly with my profanity. It's just absolutely mad, to be perfectly honest. So if you live in Haringey Council, unlucky, good luck with that. Talking of councils being greedy, that takes us to our second article, which is that UK councils have supposedly raked in over £900 million on ultra low emission zone, or ULEZ as we call it, and emission zone fines. Wow, is my answer to that. Again, I'd like to say it's crazy, but it's really not. Of course, this is all being done in the name of climate change, because we've got to have friendlier air. I mean, God knows how the bad air knows when to stop itself from going into a clean air zone. Whew, I don't know that. I think I'm going to need someone like Brian Cox to explain that to me, rather than what we read in the news. 900 million on ultra low emission zone and emission zone fines. And of course, councils will say it's not a cash cow, because they're doing the best for the people. They're doing the best to provide as much clean air as possible for the masses, because otherwise we're all going to die of climate change. And we need to give the eco warriors, eco zealots what they want. Now, at the same time, if you're going to be raking in that much cash, then maybe do something better with it. I haven't got this article in front of me, but there was an article a while ago. It was Edinburgh City Council apparently spend £2,000 a day, I think it was, because the own vehicles that they use to lease, in fact, they've got to lease some vehicles at the moment, they're not compliant with their own low emission zone standards. So they're fining themselves effectively. It's just mind-boggling. People wonder why Britain is broken. Just absolutely, the mind boggles really. We're going through this article again. We'll put this in the show notes. Apparently, no surprise to read that London stands out as a city that's collected the most substantial sums from ULEZ charges. I believe it's actually the only city that has an ultra low emission zone anyway. So when you've only got one place that's got one, then it's not a surprise that that place is going to be number one. I think if you ever drive through places like Portsmouth or Bradford or Bristol, I think they're just called low emission zones, to the best of my knowledge. But London is the only one with a ULEZ. And over 61 months, apparently it's amassed about £12.5 million per month, which is great, because they need to be able to afford to pay their new climate czar that Sadiq Khan put in. If you haven't or don't know what I'm referring to, there's a few videos back about the new climate czar that Sadiq Khan has employed. It just so happens he likes his jet set holidays, and he probably spews out more carbon emissions than you and I put together, but that's not important for this video. Now, with low emission zones and with everything like that, again, you know that listening to this channel, we're not fans of low emission zones. We're not fans of ultra low emission zones, purely because of the way they've been implemented and the fact that we've probably been lied to about their importance and about the purpose of them being put in. I would have more respect for a council if they turned around and went, sorry, constituents, do you know what? We're skint. We need to do something about it. We're going to be putting in this low emission zone. We're sorry. Sorry it's got to come to this, but this is how it is. We're skint. We ballsed up, hands up. We're sorry. Let's crack on. Fine. I potentially grin and bear that a bit more than people being lied to, going, well, climate change this, and eco warriors this, and eco zealots this, and we need to protect the people. We need to do this. We need to do that. Oh, by the way, the cost of putting all the signage and the cameras in is this. We need to increase your council tax. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We keep sucking it up, but we get to the point where people will suck it up no more, and it's just going to lead to absolute carnage. Now, the flip side of that is, if you're making a ton of money currency from low emission zones, then number one, are the schemes neutral? As in, do they have to be cost neutral? So, i.e., councils are not allowed to make a profit from it. And if that's the case, what are they doing with the surplus? Because if they have this surplus cash from all this ULEZ and LEZ income, then okay, but what are they doing with it? Now, if the answer is employing more civil servants and doing NAFL and increasing the size of the council, that is also going to be filed into the no bueno section. If they're then repairing potholes or looking at active traffic management, as in good traffic management, not let's block off all the roads for low traffic neighbourhoods, but actually look at making traffic smoother for their area, for their constituents, I'm all for that. Actually reinvest that profit or income to make a difference to people. That's what I would do if I was in their shoes. Again, as usual, we'll leave links to the articles in the show notes. And again, it's all just another reason why I don't want to keep saying broken Britain, but certainly things aren't right here. at the moment. And again, it's two things. Councils looking to incrementally increase their parking by 164% need a reality check about what the word incremental actually means. And then secondly, raking in that amount through ULEZ and low emission zone sections, put that cash to good use, damn it. And if you're not going to put the cash to good use, then don't fine people and get rid of all the nonsense in the first place. I think it would be more palatable for a lot more people out there if the councils would have been honest in the first place and just said, we're going to use this as a cash cow, rather than all this eco nonsense that we've been fed and that we are continually going to be fed. Small favor to ask, please do subscribe to the channel, use that bell notification thingy. You will then get updates of when new content comes out. Thank you. If you are already a subscriber, we'll leave links in the description below. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.